She said it loud enough for half the rooftop bar to hear. I just asked him to put sunscreen on my back. If you're jealous, go home. The words didn't land like an insult. They landed like a test. A public challenge wrapped in a laugh, delivered with a smirk that said, I dare you to react. And behind her sunglasses, I saw it. The flicker of anticipation. She wasn't just flirting with a bartender. She was flirting with my reaction, with my insecurity, with the idea that I'd crumble, beg, or explode, anything to feed the drama she secretly craved. But I didn't. I just stood there, holding 2 margaritas I just ordered, one with salt, one without, because I remembered how she liked hers. Even then, even after everything, I was still paying attention. She turned back to him, Mateo, his name tag read, and laughed at something he said, flipping her hair like it was choreographed. Her sundress caught the golden hour light, and for a moment, she looked like every travel ad you've ever seen. Radiant, free, effortlessly magnetic. But I wasn't looking at the image. I was looking at the truth beneath it. I set the drinks down on the railing. Didn't slam them, didn't sigh, just placed them gently, like closing a book I'd read too many times. Then I walked away. No scene, no shouting, no how could you, just quiet footsteps on sun-warmed tile heading back to the room we'd shared for 3 nights. Her name was Jessa. We'd been together for 22 months, almost 2 years of inside jokes, shared playlists, Sunday pancakes, and slow drives with the windows down. At first, her energy felt like sunlight, warm, bright, impossible to ignore. She made ordinary moments feel electric. But over time, I began to notice something unsettling. She didn't just enjoy attention. She needed it like oxygen. And if the room wasn't watching, she'd create a reason for them to look. It started small. Lingering hugs with male friends, overly familiar texts with old coworkers, laughing a little too long at jokes only she and he seemed to understand. Whenever I'd mention it, gently, never accusatory, she'd wave it off with that same phrase. Oh, come on, I'm just being friendly. Friendly. That word became a magic eraser. It wiped away boundaries, blurred lines, and dismissed my discomfort as insecurity. But here's what she never understood. Insecurity isn't feeling uneasy when your partner invites a stranger to touch their bare skin in front of you. Insecurity is staying anyway. I stopped arguing, not because I didn't care, but because I finally realized something. You can't negotiate respect. You can only choose whether to accept its absence.
So when she invited me on this trip to Cabo, just us, the ocean, and good vibes, I said yes. Partly because I needed a break from work. Partly because I wanted to see if she'd act the same way when I was actually present, not just a name on her phone. I wasn't looking for a fight. I was looking for clarity. Her friend group arrived like a storm of curated chaos. Designer sunglasses, matching sarongs, phones always filming. Every laugh was punctuated by, "Wait, say that again for the story." Every sunset was a backdrop, not a moment. Jessa fit right in. She wasn't just on vacation. She was on display. Day 1 was manageable. We swam, ate ceviche by the shore, drank mezcal under string lights. She teased me a few times, playful jabs about my serious face or how I never post anything. But I let it slide. Tone is hard to argue with. Intent is not. Day 2, though, that's when the performance peaked. The rooftop bar was packed. Music pulsed low and warm. The ocean stretched out below like liquid obsidian under the moon. Jessa wore a new sundress, white, flowy, expensive, and her hair was perfectly tousled, like she'd just stepped out of a magazine. She was in her element. Every glance from a stranger was a hit of validation. Every compliment, a trophy. And then came Mateo. He was doing his job, taking orders, mixing drinks, smiling politely. But Jessa turned routine service into theater. She leaned in when ordering, touched his forearm when laughing, asked about his tattoos like they were secrets only she deserved to hear. I sat 2 stools away, silent, watching. Then she turned her back to me, literally, and called over her shoulder, "Mateo, can you help me with my sunscreen?" Not, "Hey, can you do my back?" Not even the glance to see if I was willing, just a summons, as if I were irrelevant. My chest tightened, not with jealousy, but with recognition. This wasn't about sunscreen. He was doing his job, taking orders, mixing drinks, smiling politely. But Jessa turned routine service into theater. She leaned in when ordering, touched his forearm when laughing, asked about his tattoos like they were secrets only she deserved to hear. I sat 2 stools away, silent, watching. Then she turned her back to me, literally, and called over her shoulder, "Mateo, can you help me with my sunscreen?" Not, "Hey, can you do my back?" Not even a glance to see if I was willing, just a summons, as if I were irrelevant. My chest tightened, not with jealousy, but with recognition. This wasn't about sunscreen. This was about power, about proving in front of everyone that she could humiliate me and still expect me to stay. And when I didn't immediately jump up, when I just sat there still, she turned, smirked, and said it again, louder this time. "I just asked him to put sunscreen on my back. If you're jealous, go home." The music seemed to dip. Conversations paused. Half the group stared at me, half stared at her, waiting for a fight, an apology, a joke to smooth it over. She wanted me to play the insecure boyfriend so she could feel superior, so she could later say, "See, he's so controlling." But I refused the role. I met her eyes, calm, steady, and said just one word. "All right." That single syllable hit her harder than any shout ever could. Her smirk faltered, just for a heartbeat. Then she forced it back, brighter, faker. "Oh, come on, don't be dramatic," she called after me, voice rising for the audience. "He's so sensitive, right?" Her friends laughed, but it wasn't joyful. It was nervous, the kind of laugh that says, "This is uncomfortable, but I don't want to be the one to say it." I didn't respond. I just picked up my towel, shook off the sand, and walked away. She kept calling after me. "Adam, seriously, you're leaving? Don't ruin the mood. You can sulk later, we're having fun." But I didn't turn, because when someone disrespects you publicly, looking back is just volunteering for more. Back in the room, the silence was deafening. I showered. The water was hot, but I still felt cold inside. Not angry, just clear. That's when I knew it was over. Real endings don't come with slammed doors or tearful goodbyes. They come with quiet certainty. With the kind of calm that only arrives when you finally stopped lying to yourself. I packed slowly, methodically, folding my shirts, rolled my socks, unplugged the chargers. Each movement felt like reclaiming a piece of myself I'd slowly given away. My patience, my voice, my right to feel seen. By the time I zipped my suitcase, the noise of the rooftop felt like it belonged to another life. She texted once. "Seriously, you're acting like a child over a joke?" I didn't reply. Then another. "If you walk out over this, don't bother coming back." I smiled. Not out of spite, but relief. Because it made my choice easier. I'd already walked out. At the front desk, the clerk recognized me. "Checking out early?" he asked. "Just me," I said, handing over the key. "She's staying a few more days." He nodded, no judgment, just professionalism. Outside, the air smelled like salt, jasmine, and sunscreen, the scent of a vacation I never really had.
The shuttle to the airport idled by the curb. I climbed in, set my bag down, and watched the resort shrink in the rearview mirror. No guilt, no second thoughts, just peace. On the ride, I scrolled through my phone. Photos of us, smiling on hikes, cooking together, wrapped in blankets on rainy nights. They all looked hollow now. Not because she was faking it, but because I was. Faking that it was enough. Faking that I didn't mind being an afterthought. She didn't want a partner. She wanted an audience. And I was done playing her mirror. At the airport, I bought black coffee, checked flight availability, and booked the next seat home. The agent asked if I wanted trip insurance. I almost laughed. No, I'm not changing my mind. Boarding was quiet. No dramatic music, no slow motion walk. Just a man leaving something he should have left long ago. When the plane landed early the next morning, I turned my phone on. Within seconds, it erupted. Calls, texts, notifications flooding in. Her name, again and again. I ignored them at first. Then curiosity got the better of me. I opened one preview. Are you really doing this? You just left. Everyone's asking where you went. This is humiliating. Another. You're overreacting. It was a joke. Then the kicker. The hotel's making me pay your half. My card's declined. Can you just transfer it so I can check out? I stared at that last message. Not with anger, with clarity. This wasn't about money. It was about control. And she just lost it. I locked my phone. Sometimes silence is the most expensive answer you can give someone. By noon, my screen was still lighting up like a Christmas tree. I placed it face down on my kitchen table and went back to work, organizing tools, answering a client call, watering the plants on my porch. Normal life. Real life. Then a text from an unknown number. Hey man, it's Daniel. You don't know me well, but FYI, she's freaking out. Hotel's demanding your half. Her card keeps getting declined. She's crying at the front desk. Thought you should know. I typed back 2 words. She'll manage. That night, Daniel texted again. She's asking everyone for cash. No one's lending. I think she thought you'd pay online or something. She's losing it, man. Said you left her stranded. I replied one last time. She told me to go home. I just listened. He didn't text back. A few hours later, she posted a story. A sunset over the ocean. Captioned, "When you love someone insecure, they'll always find a reason to run." The comments were brutal. Strong women don't humiliate their boyfriends in public. He didn't run, you pushed. Maybe work on your jokes before blaming him for leaving. She deleted it within 10 minutes, but screenshots spread. For the first time, I didn't feel the need to defend myself. People had seen what they needed to see. You can fake affection, but you can't fake respect. A week passed. Then she called from a blocked number. I let it ring twice, then answered. Silence for 3 seconds. Then a shaky voice. You really left me there, Adam? I had to call my mom for money. Do you know how humiliating that was? Her tone wasn't angry anymore. It was small, scared. I didn't speak right away. Just let her sit in the quiet she'd created. Then I said, calm and even. No, Jessa, not over one comment. Over every moment you thought disrespect was cute. Every time you made me feel invisible. That sentence on the rooftop, it was just the last one. She tried to interrupt. I was joking, but I cut in gently. You weren't. And even if you were, it still told me everything I needed to know. More silence, just her breathing. Then softly, you didn't even fight for me. I almost laughed, not cruelly, but at the irony. You told me to go home. I just listened. Another pause, then almost resentful. You've changed. No, I said. I just stopped mistaking your chaos for passion." She hung up. No drama, no tears, just a quiet click. It felt like the stillness after a storm that had raged too long. That was the last time we spoke. I didn't block her. I didn't have to. She stopped trying. And honestly, that silence felt better than closure ever could.
A few weeks later, I met someone new. Her name's Claire. She works in sustainable marketing, speaks softly, listens like every word matters, doesn't perform, doesn't test, just is. We met at a client dinner. No agenda, no pretense. We talked about books, the Pacific Northwest, how rare it is to find someone who communicates like an adult. She didn't flirt for attention. She asked thoughtful questions, laughed at the right moments, made space instead of taking it. It felt easy, refreshing. I didn't rush it, didn't compare, didn't tell her about Jessa. She didn't need to know. What mattered was this. When Claire speaks, I don't brace for disrespect. I just breathe.
Sometimes peace feels so unfamiliar, you mistake it for boredom. But after Jessa, I knew better. Peace isn't boring, it's healing. A few days ago, Daniel texted one last time. "Hey man, just FYI, Jessa's back home. Heard she's been telling people she learned her lesson." I replied, "Wish her well." Then muted the thread. I don't hate her. I don't forgive her either. I just stopped caring. Some people don't learn from losing you. They only learn when the bill arrives, literally and metaphorically. Now, every morning feels quieter. Not empty, just peaceful. So yeah, I went home. But for the first time in years, it actually feels like home. If you were in my place, would you have stayed and argued or walked away like I did? Thanks for listening. Sometimes the hardest stories to tell are the quiet ones, where you don't scream, don't fight. You just leave. And in that leaving, you finally find yourself again.